How to get the most out of your college football career. Let's talk about it. Now, I just finished up my college football career this past year, and luckily I was blessed to be able to play for two of the best programs in the nation, USC and the Ohio State University. And now that I've had time to look back on my career and think about the things I did right and the things I did wrong, here are four things I would tell young college football players to get the most out of their career. First, it's very simple. Listen to that inner voice in your head. Over the course of my career at both USC and the Ohio State University, I constantly had coaches telling us to be disciplined. And they would come up with so many catchy phrases to try and explain what discipline is. They'd be like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. It's all about the little things, stuff like that. But for me, it was all about trusting my internal self and trusting that voice in my head. Your mind, body, soul, instincts, whatever you want to call it, will guide you. You just got to listen and do it. And that's what discipline is. Secondly, don't be afraid to speak up and lead. In my career, there was far too many times where I would see something going on that didn't benefit the team and I wouldn't say anything. And 90% of the time, that thing would go on to hurt the team. And when that happened, I would be so mad at myself. I would be like, I should have nipped this in the bud as soon as it got started. But I didn't say anything. Why? In today's world, we're far too worried about fitting in and being cool. And I can promise you, you'll gain way more respect by calling shit out when you see it not meeting the standard. Thirdly, you gotta block out the noise. This probably had the most impact on my career, and I gotta be honest. Nobody prepares you for the social media aspect of college football. And when I was starting my third year at Ohio State, I found myself getting caught up with what that outside noise was saying far too often. After the games, I would check Twitter, and if Twitter was talking good about me, then I was all good. But if Twitter was hating on me after a game, it would put me in a really, really dark spot. But then you get to the point where you realize that none of that matters. It's all bullshit. All that matters is your brothers around you. Everybody's going through it. You're all in the same war. You just got to fight it together and only care about your brother's opinions. And this brings me to my final point, and probably the most important. Do not rush out of the locker room. Don't rush out of the locker room. I can say it a million times. This right here is probably my favorite picture from college football. This was probably an hour and a half after practice was over. When I was a freshman or a sophomore, as soon as practice was done, I was running to the locker room, getting my gear off, and getting the hell out of there and going home. And honestly, that's my biggest regret of my college football days. Because as I got older, I would stick around after practice and stay in the locker room. And I realized that's how you connect with your teammates on a real deep level. I can't begin to tell you how deep some of these conversations I would have with some of my teammates way after practice when I was just hanging out in the locker room. If you're a young college football player, I really hope you just listen to everything I said because I promise you this will help you out. Go ahead and hit the follow button to stay up to date with the most recent sporting events and hear some of my favorite stories from college football.